Have you ever felt that sharp sting of someone walking out of your life? Maybe it was a friend you thought would always be there, a partner you imagined growing old with, or even a family member you never expected to lose touch with. One day they were a big part of your world, and the next, they were gone. It leaves you wondering, what happened? Why did they leave? These questions can keep you up at night, replaying memories and searching for answers. But what if I told you that their leaving might not be the disaster it feels like right now? What if, instead, it's actually setting you up for something better? Now, I know what you're thinking. How can losing someone I care about be a good thing? It's a fair question. When we're hurting, it's hard to see any silver lining. But here's the thing. Sometimes the universe has plans for us that we can't see yet. It's like when you're putting together a big puzzle. You might have a piece that you really like, one that you're sure fits perfectly, but no matter how hard you try, it just won't fit. That's because it's not meant for that spot. It might even belong to a different puzzle altogether. The same thing can happen with people in our lives. We might think someone is perfect for us, that they fit just right. But life has a way of showing us that sometimes what we think is right isn't always what's best for us in the long run. It's not about them being bad people or us doing something wrong. It's just that their part in our story might be over, making room for new chapters to begin. Think about it like this. Have you ever looked back on something that hurt you in the past and realized it led to something amazing? Maybe not getting that job you really wanted pushed you to start your own business. Or perhaps a breakup that felt like the end of the world actually freed you to meet someone who understands you better. Life has a funny way of working out, often in ways we least expect. When someone leaves our life, it's easy to get stuck focusing on what we've lost. We might feel rejected, abandoned, or like we're not good enough. But what if we're looking at it all wrong? What if, instead of an ending, it's actually a beginning? A chance for something new, something that fits even better with who we are and who we're becoming. This isn't just positive thinking or trying to sugarcoat a bad situation. It's about understanding that our lives are part of something bigger. Every experience, good or bad, shapes us. It teaches us something, even if we can't see what that lesson is right away. The people who come into our lives, whether they stay for a lifetime or just for a season, all play a part in our growth. Now let's look at this from a spiritual angle. Many beliefs and traditions talk about how everything in life happens for a reason. It's not always a reason we can understand right away, but there's a purpose to it all. This idea isn't about some grand plan that controls every little thing we do. It's more about recognizing that life has a flow to it, and sometimes we need to trust that flow, even when it takes us in directions we didn't expect. When someone leaves your life, it might be because their role in your journey is complete. They've taught you what you needed to learn, or you've done the same for them. It doesn't make the pain of losing them any less real, but it can help us find meaning in that pain. Instead of seeing their departure as a failure or a punishment, we can start to see it as a necessary step in our personal evolution. Think about how trees lose their leaves in autumn. It might look like the tree is dying, but it's actually preparing for new growth. The old leaves have to fall to make way for new ones. In the same way, sometimes relationships in our lives have to end to make space for new connections, new experiences, and new parts of ourselves to grow. This doesn't mean we should be happy when people leave or that we shouldn't feel sad. Our feelings are valid and important. Grief, anger, confusion. All of these emotions are natural responses to loss. The key is not to get stuck in these feelings, but to use them as a starting point for understanding and growth. Every relationship we have teaches us something about ourselves and the world around us. When someone leaves, it's a chance to reflect on what that relationship brought into our lives. What did you learn from them? How did they challenge you to grow? Even the painful parts of the relationship can be valuable lessons. Maybe their leaving is teaching you about resilience, how strong you really are when faced with challenges. Or perhaps it's a lesson in self-worth, showing you that you deserve relationships that truly fulfill you. It could be an opportunity to learn about forgiveness, not just for them, but for yourself too. Sometimes people leave our lives because we've outgrown each other. Just like you might outgrow your favorite childhood clothes, we can outgrow relationships too. This doesn't mean anyone is at fault. It just means you're both on different paths now. Recognizing this can help ease the pain of separation and allow you to appreciate the role that person played in your life, even if they're not in it anymore. The leaving of someone important can also be a wake-up call. It might shine a light on areas of your life that need attention. Maybe you've been neglecting your own needs or compromising too much of yourself. Their departure could be the push you need to start taking better care of yourself, to rediscover who you are outside of that relationship. Remember, every ending is also a new beginning. When one door closes, another opens, but we often spend so much time staring at the closed door that we miss seeing the new opportunities in front of us. The end of a relationship creates space in your life. It's up to you to decide what to fill that space with. This could be the perfect time to pursue a dream you've been putting off, to deepen other relationships, or to simply get to know yourself better. Now let's talk about something called the mirror principle. This idea suggests that our relationships often reflect parts of ourselves back to us. The people in our lives can be like mirrors, showing us things about ourselves that we might not see otherwise. This includes both the good and the not-so-good parts. When someone leaves, it's an opportunity to look closely at what that relationship was mirroring back to you. Were there patterns in the relationship that kept repeating? Did you often feel a certain way around that person? These can be clues about parts of yourself that might need some attention or healing. For example, if you often felt like you weren't good enough in the relationship, it might be reflecting an inner belief you have about yourself. The relationship ending could be a chance to work on building your self-esteem and recognizing your own worth. Or if you found yourself always trying to fix or change the other person, it might be showing you a need to control things in your life. Understanding this mirror principle doesn't mean blaming yourself for the relationship ending. It's not about fault or guilt. Instead, it's a tool for self-discovery and growth. By looking at what the relationship reflected back to you, you can learn valuable things about yourself. This knowledge can help you in future relationships and in your personal development. Sometimes, people leave our lives because they're reflecting something we're not ready to face yet. Or maybe we're reflecting something they're not ready for. Either way, The separation can be a catalyst for important inner work. It's like the universe is giving you a nudge saying, hey, there's something here you need to pay attention to. This mirror principle also works in a positive way. The good qualities you saw in the other person, kindness, strength, creativity, are often qualities that you have within yourself too. Their leaving doesn't mean you lose those qualities. Instead, it might be an invitation to develop those traits more fully in yourself. Remember, the goal isn't to become perfect or to never experience loss again. It's about growing, learning, and becoming more authentically yourself. Each relationship, even the ones that end, plays a part in this journey. They all contribute to the person you're becoming. As you reflect on the relationship that's ended, try to approach it with curiosity rather than judgment. What can you learn from this experience? How has it helped you grow? What parts of yourself did it bring to light? These questions can turn a painful ending into a powerful opportunity for self-discovery and personal growth. In the end, people coming and going from our lives is a natural part of the journey. It's not always easy, and it's okay to feel the pain of loss. But by looking at these experiences through a spiritual lens, we can find meaning, growth, and even gratitude in the midst of change. Remember, you are on a unique path, and every experience, every relationship is shaping you into the person you're meant to be. When someone leaves your life, it can feel like a part of you is missing. It's normal to feel sad, angry, or lost. But hidden within this pain is a powerful opportunity for growth. Think of it like pruning a plant. At first, cutting away branches might seem harsh, but it actually helps the plant grow stronger and healthier. In the same way, losing someone can help you grow in ways you never expected. One of the biggest lessons we can learn from loss is resilience. It's that inner strength that helps you bounce back when life knocks you down. Each time you face a loss and keep going, you're building this strength. It's like working out a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So even though it hurts now, you're becoming more resilient, more able to handle whatever life throws your way. Loss can also teach us a lot about ourselves. When someone is no longer in our life, we often discover parts of ourselves we didn't know existed. Maybe you find out you're stronger than you thought, or more independent. Or perhaps you realize you have interests or talents you never explored because you were so focused on that relationship. This self-discovery can be exciting and empowering, opening up new possibilities for your life. Another important lesson that often comes with loss is the value of self-love and self-care. When we're in a relationship, it's easy to put the other person's needs before our own. But when that person is gone, we're forced to turn that care and attention inward. This can be a beautiful thing, teaching us how to truly take care of ourselves, both emotionally and physically. It's a chance to get to know yourself better, to figure out what you really want and need. Loss can also change our perspective on life. Things that seemed so important before might not matter as much now. You might find yourself appreciating the little things more, or focusing on what truly makes you happy. This shift in perspective can be incredibly freeing, helping you let go of things that no longer serve you and embrace what really matters. Remember, growth isn't always comfortable. It can be messy and painful. There might be days when you feel like you're taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. That's okay. Growth isn't a straight line. It's more like a winding path with ups and downs. The important thing is to keep moving forward, even if it's just small steps. As you go through this process of growth, be patient and kind to yourself. Healing and growing take time. It's not about forgetting the person who left or pretending the pain isn't there. It's about learning from the experience, honoring what was, and using it as a stepping stone to become a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Have you ever noticed how some people in your life seem to bring out certain sides of you? Maybe there's a friend who always makes you laugh, or someone who tends to push your buttons. This isn't just by chance. It's part of something called the mirror principle, and understanding it can change the way you see all your relationships, including the ones that have ended. The mirror principle suggests that our relationships reflect parts of ourselves back to us. It's like each person in our life is holding up a mirror, showing us different aspects of who we are. Sometimes we like what we see, and sometimes we don't. But either way, these reflections can teach us a lot about ourselves. When someone leaves our life, it's a chance to look closely at what that relationship was mirroring back to us. Were there patterns that kept showing up? Did you often feel a certain way around that person? These can be clues about parts of yourself that might need some attention. For example, let's say you had a friend who always seemed to take advantage of your kindness. You might think they were just a selfish person. But the mirror principle invites us to look deeper. Could it be that this relationship was reflecting your own struggle with setting boundaries? Maybe it was showing you that you need to value yourself more and learn to say no sometimes. Or maybe you had a partner who never seemed satisfied with what you did. At first glance, it might seem like they were just too demanding. But could this be mirroring your own perfectionism or fears of not being good enough? Sometimes, the things that bother us most about others are actually things we're struggling with ourselves. This doesn't mean that other people's actions are your fault. The mirror principle isn't about blame, it's about learning and growth. By looking at what our relationships reflect back to us, we can learn valuable things about ourselves. This knowledge can help us in future relationships and in our personal growth. It's important to remember that the mirror works both ways. Just as others reflect parts of us, we reflect parts of them too. Sometimes people leave our lives because they're not ready to face what we're reflecting back to them. This doesn't make either person bad or wrong. It just means you're on different paths right now. The mirror principle also works in positive ways. The qualities you admired in the person who left, things like kindness, strength, or creativity, are often qualities that you have within yourself too. Their leaving doesn't mean you lose those qualities. Instead, it might be an invitation to develop those traits more fully in yourself. As you think about the relationship that's ended, try to approach it with curiosity rather than judgment. What was this relationship showing you about yourself? What can you learn from this experience? How has it helped you grow? These questions can turn a painful ending into a powerful opportunity for self-discovery. Letting go is often one of the hardest things we have to do in life, especially when it comes to relationships. Whether it's a friendship that's drifted apart, a romance that's ended, or a family relationship that's become strained, letting go can feel like giving up or admitting defeat. But in reality, letting go can be one of the most powerful and freeing things we can do for ourselves. Think of letting go like cleaning out a cluttered room. At first, it might seem overwhelming. You might want to hold on to things just in case, or because they have sentimental value. But as you start to clear things out, you begin to feel lighter. You create space for new things, and you can finally see the potential of the room. Letting go of a relationship works in a similar way. It creates space in your life for new experiences, new relationships, and new parts of yourself to grow. One of the biggest challenges in letting go is dealing with the what-ifs and if-onlys. It's easy to get caught up in imagining how things could have been different, but constantly replaying the past or imagining alternate scenarios keeps us stuck. It prevents us from fully living in the present and moving forward. Letting go means accepting what is rather than wishing for what could have been. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or pretending the relationship never mattered. It's about acknowledging the role that person played in your life, appreciating the good times, learning from the challenges, and then allowing yourself to move forward. It's about making peace with the fact that their chapter in your life story has come to an end. Sometimes holding on to a relationship that's ended is like trying to read a book in the dark. You know the words are there, but you can't see them clearly. Letting go is like turning on the light. Suddenly, you can see the whole picture more clearly. You might realize things about the relationship that you couldn't see before, both good and bad. Letting go is also a practice in trust. It's trusting that if this relationship was meant to be in your life, it would be. It's trusting that there are new experiences and connections waiting for you. It's trusting in your own ability to be okay, even without this person in your life. Remember, letting go is a process, not a one-time event. It's okay if it takes time. Some days you might feel like you've completely let go, and other days the pain or longing might feel fresh again. This is normal. Be patient and gentle with yourself as you go through this process. As you practice letting go, you might find that you're not just letting go of the person, but also of old beliefs, habits, or patterns that no longer serve you. Maybe you're letting go of the need to please everyone, or the belief that you're not good enough on your own. This kind of letting go can be incredibly liberating, allowing you to become more authentically yourself. Letting go opens up space for new beginnings. It allows you to turn your energy and attention to the present and the future, rather than staying stuck in the past. As you let go, you might find yourself open to new friendships, new opportunities, or new aspects of yourself that you never knew existed. Remember, letting go doesn't mean you failed. It means you're brave enough to accept what is and move forward. It's a gift you give yourself, the gift of freedom, peace, and the opportunity for new beginnings. When a chapter in our life comes to a close, it's natural to feel a sense of loss. But every ending also marks the start of something new. It's like turning the page in a book. You might be sad to leave the previous chapter behind, but there's excitement in discovering what comes next. This is what new beginnings are all about. Think of your life as a garden. When a plant dies or is removed, it might leave an empty space. At first, this space might seem sad or barren, but in reality, it's full of potential. It's ready for new seeds to be planted, new flowers to bloom. The end of a relationship creates a similar kind of space in your life. It's up to you to decide what to plant in that space. One of the most beautiful things about new beginnings is the opportunity for self-discovery. Without the influence of the person who's left, you have the chance to reconnect with yourself. You might rediscover old interests that you'd set aside, or find new passions you never knew you had. Maybe you'll finally take that art class you've been thinking about, or start writing that book you've always dreamed of. This time of new beginnings is perfect for exploring who you are and who you want to become. New beginnings also offer a fresh perspective on life. Things that seemed impossible or out of reach before might suddenly feel achievable. Maybe you'll find the courage to change careers, to travel to places you've always wanted to see, or to make other big life changes you've been putting off. The end of a relationship can be a powerful reminder that life is short and precious, inspiring us to make the most of every moment. It's important to remember that new beginnings don't always look dramatic or exciting from the outside. Sometimes they're quiet and subtle. It might be as simple as starting a new morning routine or learning to enjoy your own company. These small changes can have a big impact over time, shaping your life in new and positive ways. New beginnings also extend to how we approach relationships. The lessons we've learned from past relationships can help us build healthier, more fulfilling connections in the future. Maybe you'll learn to communicate better, to set clearer boundaries, or to choose partners who align more closely with your values and goals. As you embrace new beginnings, be open to surprises. Life has a way of bringing unexpected joys and opportunities when we least expect them. The person who left your life made room for new people to enter. You might form new friendships, strengthen existing relationships, or even find a new romantic partner who's a better match for who you are now. Remember, embracing new beginnings doesn't mean you have to have everything figured out right away. It's okay to take your time, to explore and experiment. Think of it as an adventure. You don't know exactly where it will lead, but that's part of the excitement. Now that we've explored these ideas, let's put them into practice with a simple but powerful exercise. This exercise is designed to help you find peace with past relationships and open yourself up to new beginnings. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed and follow these steps. Take a few deep breaths, allowing yourself to relax and become present in the moment. Think about the person who has left your life. Picture them in your mind. Acknowledge any feelings that come up: sadness, anger, regret, love. Don't judge these feelings, just observe them. Now think about what this relationship taught you. What did you learn about yourself? About life? About what you want in future relationships? Imagine yourself thanking this person for these lessons. You don't have to do this in real life. This is just an exercise in your mind. Visualize yourself surrounded by a warm, healing light. As this light envelops you, imagine it gently dissolving any lingering pain or resentment. Now picture yourself turning away from this person and facing a new path. This path represents your future. What do you see on this path? What possibilities excite you? Take a moment to feel gratitude for this new beginning. Even if it's scary, try to connect with the potential and opportunity it represents. Finally, set an intention for your path forward. It could be something like, I intend to love myself more, or I'm open to new relationships that help me grow. Take a few more deep breaths, and when you're ready, open your eyes. Remember, healing and moving forward is a process. You might need to repeat this exercise several times. Be patient and gentle with yourself as you navigate this journey. As we come to the end of our exploration, let's take a moment to reflect on the journey we've taken together. We've delved into the pain of loss, the power of growth, the insights of the mirror principle, the freedom of letting go, and the promise of new beginnings. Each of these aspects plays a crucial role in our life's journey, especially when we're dealing with the departure of someone important from our lives. Remember, the end of a relationship isn't just an ending, it's also a beginning. It's an invitation to grow, to learn, to discover new aspects of yourself. It's a chance to realign your life with your true values and desires. While the pain of loss is real and shouldn't be dismissed, there's also incredible potential in these moments of change. The mirror principle teaches us that our relationships reflect parts of ourselves back to us. By understanding this, we can use even painful experiences as opportunities for self-discovery and personal growth. Letting go, although challenging, creates space for new experiences and relationships that align more closely with who we are becoming. As you move forward, be kind to yourself. Healing and growth take time, and the process isn't always linear. There will be good days and bad days, moments of clarity and moments of confusion. This is all part of the journey. Trust in your ability to heal, to grow, and to create a life that fulfills you. Remember the practical exercise we explored. Use it whenever you need to find peace or reconnect with your inner strength. And don't be afraid to seek support when you need it, whether from friends, family, or professional help. Finally, stay open to the possibilities that lie ahead. The person who left your life played their part in your story, but your story isn't over. There are new chapters waiting to be written, new experiences to be had, and new connections to be made. You have the power to shape your path forward. Your journey of growth and self-discovery is uniquely yours. Embrace it with courage, curiosity, and compassion for yourself. Trust that even in the face of loss, you have the strength to not just survive, but to thrive and create a life filled with meaning, joy, and authentic connections. Remember, you are resilient, you are worthy of love and happiness, and you have so much to offer the world. The end of one chapter is just the beginning of another. Here's to your journey of growth, healing, and new beginnings.